Here at Jewish Rock Radio, we care about the meaning and the action behind Jewish music. Every week on Jewish Rock Radio, we feature a series of provocative shows hosted by top artists in Jewish life, dedicated to enriching your knowledge about Jewish artists, their music, and the impact they're having on our world today. Up next on Jewish Rock Radio, join us for Jewish Women Rock with host Naomi Less. Jewish Women Rock features the best and most influential female voices in contemporary Jewish music. This show is brought to you by Positive Jewish Living, championing a holistic approach to spiritual and physical wellness. You're listening to Jewish Rock Radio and Jewish Women Rock.
Welcome, everybody. So this is Naomi Less, and you're listening to Jewish Women Rock on Jewish Rock Radio. And with me is Cantor Lisa Levine, who is an incredible human being, a gifted cantor, and also has a few other tricks and trades and work up her sleeve. So Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Naomi. Pleasure to be here.
And will you talk a little bit about your, just sort of your work in healing arts?
Been an important part of Reform liturgy for as long as I can remember, and going to Camp Swig with Debbie as my song leader. That's sort of the roots of all of that. And I started writing healing music back in the 90s, and that was as part of the liturgy that we used, and also because of Debbie's influence and the healing services that we were creating from what she started and what took off like wildfire.
Well, we're going to jump right into some music, Lisa, and we're actually going to share your version of Misha Berach. And your Misha Berach has been sung in countless places and spaces for healing, both in formal services and in healing circles, and listened to countless times by so many individuals. So this is your Misha Berach by Cantor Lisa Levine from the 2005 album Reaching for Peace, here on the Jewish Women Rock Show on Jewish Rock Radio, the official home of Jewish rock.
אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, מי שברך אמותינו, שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, מי שברך אמותינו, שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well. Bless us as well.
That was Lisa Levine's Misha Berach, and we're back here on the Jewish Women Rock Show with Cantor Lisa Levine. Would you share with us a little bit about how you got into this healing work?
The real path to healing for my own personal story was when I was working on Yoga Shalom, which is sort of healing from the inside out, a kind of mindfulness chant practice. And that began way back when I was a student at HUC and needed some tools for my own self-help and my own self-balance. And so I started doing yoga. And then with the healing music, I started then creating a yoga and music and chant program, which eventually morphed into Yoga Shalom, which was published in 2011 by URJ Press. And then the next year, right after it was published, I had a series of devastating losses in my own life. My brother Danny died suddenly, and then my mother died and my sister died, all within a 1-year period. Those changes in my life sort of changed the trajectory of my own path and led me to a more professional healing education, which is called pastoral education. And so I began a program through Aleph Alliance called the Rabbinic Pastor Program. And that's where I started learning, doing my formal CPE training, which is called Clinical Pastoral Education. Through that education, I began working in hospital settings as a chaplain, as an intern, and then later as a professional chaplain. I finished my training through Aleph Alliance in January this year and was ordained as a rabbinic chaplain. Now that rabbinic chaplain has its origins all the way back in the early 1700s when the Baal Shem Tov was a healer. He was roaming around in the mountains and met a lot of village people who taught him through herbal remedies how to heal people. And what happened is in his 20s, that morphed into healing people of the body, but then he began healing people's spirits as well. So sort of the beginning of mind, body, spirit. And when Reb Zalman Schachter Shlomi began this movement in the 1960s, he adopted the Baal Shem Tov's specialty of being a rabbinic chaplain, a rabbinic healer. And that's what's led me to the work I'm doing today.
Thank you so much. So in essence, the roots of this go back hundreds of years.
Yes, ancient arts of healing. And of course, before that in the Torah, think about all of the healing herbs and all of the oils that were used, many healers in Jewish tradition in the Bible. And then that was just brought forward and has continued all the way down to today.
Well, let's go back in time to the Psalms and share a piece that is a familiar words for most of us, Esa Enai, looking to the mountains for your help, for healing, looking upwards, hope, optimism. Written by Benji Schiller, Cantor Benji Schiller, and Julie Silver, and sung by Patty Linsky and Julie Silver. Here is Esa Enai on the Jewish Women Rock Show on Jewish Rock Radio, the official home of Jewish rock.
Esa Enai el Heharim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri Esa Enai el Heharim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri Yavo Ezri Me'im Adonai Ezri Me'im Adonai Ose Shamayim Ezri mehim Adonai, Ose Shamayim va'adam.
That was Asa Enai by Julie Silver and Benji Schiller, sung by Patty Linsky with Julie Silver. And we are back here with Cantor Lisa Levine talking about healing. So can you tell us a little bit, first of all, because this is such a fascinating topic to bring up on the show. So tell our listeners a little bit about the healing power of music, how you utilize music, and maybe share an example of a couple of pieces of yours that might help in this work.
Well, I'd been writing healing music for many years, but when my own mother died, I found myself sort of mute at the bedside, and I didn't really have a voice for her because I just had no experience with that. But later, when I was an intern in my clinical pastoral education at Georgetown MedStar University Hospital, I found my voice at the bedside with a dying woman who was dying of brain cancer. And she couldn't speak, and she was on a ventilator, and her family was there. And when I asked about the family, they said that their mother had been an organist at the church where they belonged, and for many, many years was the choir director. And so the first thing that popped into my head was a song called Balm in Gilead, which I'd sung in high school. So I began singing that song, and then for the next 2 hours, I just kept the songs rolling. And it was an interfaith setting, but I really called on my Jewish roots. I sang L'chilach, and I sang Oh Guide My Steps, and I sang Debbie's Mishaberach and my Mishaberach, which I had written.
Well, I heard a little bit of background on that song, Oh Guide My Steps. I actually reached out to Julie Silver, who connected me with Anita Thornton at Temple Road of Shalom in Virginia, who's a cantorial soloist and director of Caring and Inclusion there. And she actually shared with me that she was there physically when Debbie Winston wrote this song, and the story that is behind this. And I'm sorry that I didn't get to speak with Debbie herself, but hearing this story just blew me away, Lisa, which is that at Havana Shira years ago, maybe somewhere around 1998, 99, Julie was running a songwriter's workshop. And as Anita mentioned to me, she was in the room, and Julie had said, hey, anybody in the process of writing a song? Debbie, who was a cantorial soloist, had never written a song before and had had a year that nobody would ever want. Death, destruction. Her house of her dreams that she and her husband had built was destroyed. Apparently, there was a death in her family, a loss of a job, just one thing after another. And she walked into her synagogue, and from Anita's words, apparently she tore open the doors of the ark and cried, what did I do to upset you so much, to God? And words and a melody came out of her, and she shared that melody and those words with the group. Everyone apparently in the room had tears streaming down their face, speechless. And Julie helped her to finish the song by adding a counterpoint melody of Ufros Aleinu to her words, Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. And so they sang and shared this song over Shabbat, over the retreat. And this song of healing that was born out of such struggle and tragedy has now been sung in countless places and offered healing to countless people around the world. So I'd love to share that right now with you. This is Debbie Winston's "Oh Guide My Steps" featuring Mary Arian here on the Jewish Women Rock Show on Jewish Rock Radio, your official home for Jewish rock.
Steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps.
Can't get enough Jewish rock? Visit us online at jewishrockradio.com.
You know, you're not a real fan until you fan us on Facebook. Come on, let's be friends.
Jewish Rock Radio.
We'd like to share a very special thank you to Positive Jewish Living for generously underwriting this episode of Jewish Women Rock. Positive Jewish Living, championing a holistic approach to spiritual and physical wellness. Visit Positive Jewish Living on Facebook. For more information about the artists on all Jewish Rock Radio shows, as well as showtimes, please visit jewishrockradio.com/showtimes.
Folks, welcome back to the Jewish Women Rock Show on Jewish Rock Radio. I'm your host, Naomi Less, and we just heard "Oh Guide My Steps" by Debbie Winston featuring Mary Arian. And we're here speaking with Cantor Lisa Levine, who's been sharing her journey into the field of Jewish healing and music.
From that point on, music became one of the tools in my belt that I used at the bedside during traumatic moments, end of life. I found myself in so many different situations where I was able to use music to bring comfort to those who were there. And many times they would sing with me. So I began writing music for those settings. For example, Bring Healing Down, which is on Bridge to Peace, my most recent collection, was written for one of my patients who had a leg amputation. They were sitting around the bed, and this melody came to me. Bring healing down, bring healing down, great God Almighty, bring healing down. Then I asked my patient who was sitting there, what is something that you need for yourself today? What is the prayer that's on your heart? And often I will ask patients what they need during their time of pain. And he said, love. So then I started with Bring Love Down. And then the whole family joined in, because it was sort of a gospel feel. And then it's a zipper song. So a lot of times I'll just ask people what they're needing. And I use this song in group settings because I do a program called Music and Spirituality where I work with older adults, and we do a healing segment, and I'm always asking what they're needing today. It's sort of an improvised prayer setting, and I learned that from my patients and their families.
So with that, let's take a listen to Bring Healing Down from Bridge to Peace, Lisa's new CD that was released when?
November 2017.
Wow.
Not that long ago.
Yep. So here is Bring Healing Down on Jewish Women Rock, right here on Jewish Rock Radio, the official home of Jewish rock.
Bring healing down. Bring healing down. Mishaberach. Bring healing down. Bring wholeness down. Bring wholeness down. Refuah shlema. Bring wholeness down. Bring hope down. Bring hope down. Tikvateinu, bring hope down, bring freedom down, bring freedom down. Zman cherutenu, bring freedom down, bring justice down. Justice down, tzedek, tzedek, bring justice down, bring peace down, bring peace down, shalom aleinu, bring peace down.
That was Bring Healing Down by Cantor Lisa Levine, who's with us on the show today. And we've just heard some powerful stories of her work pastorally and some really intense experiences of bringing music to the bedside of those suffering. So Lisa, where did you go from that point?
from there, I started writing songs for other patients, making my spirit and my heart open. And I had another incredible patient who I was following, which means that she was in the hospital for a longer period of time, and she would be there and I would be doing overnights and I would be the chaplain on call, and she would always call for me, and she called me her angel. And one night when I walked into her room, an infection that had started in her toe cost her leg, and her leg was gone. And I just lost it. It was a really difficult night. And so I walked into her room and she was so upbeat. She was like, oh, that darn leg, now it's gone. Everything's going to be great. I'm going to be healed and I'm on my way to healing. And her inspiration was so incredible for me.
I can see it still brings emotion to you. The listeners can't see, but your eyes are tearing up a bit.
It does. And often after a difficult night, I would go back to the on-call room and write a lot of poetry, music, and that's where Bridge to Peace came about. I wrote that poem and then the music came in. And the next morning when I visited her, I sat down and sang the little chorus to her. I am a bridge to peace. We are a bridge to peace. And she was crying. I was crying. And I felt that moment was incredibly important for my growth as a chaplain. I ended up fleshing out that song and singing it at my ordination. And sadly, she ended up losing her battle with that infection, and she died recently. And her husband invited me to the funeral to officiate the funeral and sing that song, Bridge to Peace. So these stories are so visceral and they're so real, and yet they tell the journey not only of the patient but of the chaplain. And so that's why I love writing this music, because I do believe that it does heal.
So let's listen to Bridge to Peace as we keep your patient and you in our hearts, Lisa, here on Jewish Rock Radio, on the Jewish Women Rock Show.
I am a bridge to peace. I close my eyes and breathe. I'm ready to receive your healing love. My heart is open wide to truths I cannot hide, keeping hope alive, creating peace. Bridge to peace, 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 bridge to peace. We share this sacred space, nurtured by love and grace, feeling the warm embrace of holy song. Together we become Geshe Shalom, a healing bridge Shalom, Geshe Shalom, Geshe Shalom. We are a bridge to peace. We close our eyes and breathe, sending our hope and love into the world. Together we become Geshe Shalom, a healing bridge that joins our hearts as one. Geshe Shalom, Geshe Shalom, Geshe Shalom, Geshe Shalom. Bridge to peace, 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 bridge to peace.
That was Bridge to Peace by Cantor Levine here on the Jewish Women Rock Show on Jewish Rock Radio, the official home of Jewish Rock. And we've been hearing about Cantor Levine's work in healing and utilizing music to help those who are suffering, and the music that she's written and her path to creating this music. Do you have more for us?
So the last story I'd like to tell you is about May the Angels. I started doing end-of-life work. Remember the story about my mother when I found myself mute, and then all of a sudden in my hospital work and in the work that I do in JESA as a Jewish social services agency chaplain, I've had the opportunity to be at folks' bedside with families as their loved ones are transitioning over to the other side. And Judaism has a very rich tradition of an afterlife. Simcha Paul Raphael's book, Jewish Views of the Afterlife, has taught me so much about how our tradition views death, mourning, the traditions of mourning, and the afterlife. And it's also helped me to help others view death as not a door, but a window into another realm. One of the songs that I wrote for this collection is called May the Angels. And it was written for a dear friend who lost his life very quickly from cancer. And I wrote this song at his bedside. The idea of the song is that we're shepherding folks' souls to another place and taking them to where they can be with their ancestors, and also through a cycle over a year's period, then be reincarnated. So to learn more about that, you'll need to read Jewish Views of the Afterlife.
Well, while everybody is Googling that right this second, let's take a pause and let's listen to your song, May the Angels, here on the Jewish Women Rock Show on Jewish Rock Radio, the official home of Jewish Rock.
May the angels and heavenly hosts guide your spirit, guide you home. May the light of eternal peace be your lamppost to eternity. All the words that are in our mouths go unspoken when our guide you home. May the light of eternal peace be your lamppost to eternity.
Jewish Rock Radio would not be possible without the incredible generosity of our major supporters. We send mega thanks to Susan and Mark Sachs of Deerfield, Illinois, Debbie and Manuel Rahunov of Dallas, Texas, Katie and Randy Whitlatch in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Ellen and David Wagelstein in Rockville, Maryland. Toda Rabah to each of you and to all of our JRR supporters across the world. To help make JRR even better, you can make your tax-deductible contribution to JRR at jewishrockradio.com/support. Thanks again, and keep rocking out to Jewish Rock Radio, the official home of Jewish rock.
Can't get enough Jewish rock? Visit us online at jewishrockradio.com.
We'd like to share a very special thank you to Positive Jewish Living for generously underwriting this episode of Jewish Women Rock. Positive Jewish Living, championing a holistic approach to spiritual and physical wellness. Visit Positive Jewish Living on Facebook. For more information about the artists on all Jewish Rock Radio shows, as well as showtimes, please visit jewishrockradio.com/showtimes.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Naomi Less, your host of Jewish Women Rock on Jewish Rock Radio, where we feature phenomenal Jewish female performers, artists, songwriters, you name it. And today on the show, we have Cantor Levine, where we just heard her beautiful healing prayer, May the Angels. And she's been talking to us this whole episode about her work in the healing arts, in Judaism, and specifically utilizing music. So can we get practical for a moment?
If you were to share, to somebody who is suffering from, impending loss of a loved one or, has lost a loved one, how do you want people to utilize this music? How would you suggest as a pastoral caretaker, how would you suggest that people utilize your music?
That is a great question. I think Jewish tradition has so many ways that we can not only utilize music, but also the Psalms. And the way I utilize this is that I will do a healing song at the bedside and have the family around. I might, there's a group called Threshold Choir that sings at the time of death for patients all over the country, and you can look them up. And what I do with music is I will either bring my guitar in or just sometimes a recording and sometimes myself, and I will sing music for my patient and their family. But I always suggest to the family that they have music playing for their loved one, whether it be classical music or Jewish music or any kind of music that their loved one would soothe them, soothe their soul, soothe their spirit. And I really believe in the power of music at the time of transition for a smooth passage and also comfort for the patient and for the family. And at the same time, let's not forget that for the chaplain, the person who's there and present, it's one of the most holy experiences that we can be part of. So for me, it's an honor, a great honor, and one of the things that I most treasure about the gift that I've been given as a chaplain. This whole idea of music in chaplaincy is something that we can all be doing, that we can be sharing, that we can be utilizing with those that we love and maybe those that we don't know. I use a lot of different music. I use a lot of Ellen Allard's music, Holy Holiness, which is a wonderful song that she's written.
Yes.
Debbie Winston, Oh Guide My Steps, which is great for interfaith. The Yado by Craig Taubman is a wonderful song that I'll often use at the bedside and also in group settings. And then I use as many psalm settings as I can.
Well, we've already heard one psalm setting by another individual today, Julie Silver. But let's listen to Ellen Allard's Holy Holiness here on the Jewish Women Rock Show on Jewish Rock Radio, the official home of Jewish rock. That was Ellen Allard's Holy Holiness on Jewish Women Rock on Jewish Rock Radio. I'm your host, Naomi Less, here with Cantor Levine, and we're getting practical, right? Sharing a bit about how we can utilize this music in moments where healing is sought.
And what I love about using music is that it's so versatile. You can use songs like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, or Rock of My Soul, or some of the Americana that are great for use with older adults that maybe have memory issues. And I pull my guitar out and sing with them, not for them, but we all sing together.
Truly healing experience.
Lisa, this has been so rich, and we are just so appreciative of you sharing your gifts and your talent and your purpose that you found through both struggle and positivity as well too. So thank you. If folks want to utilize your music, because a lot of our listeners are both song leaders, song appreciators, and each of them has the power to hold space, whether you are a pastoral expert or a song leader or a family member. So where can they find your music?
You can find all of my music on Spotify, YouTube, Oi Songs has all of the sheet music for that, and then a lot of it is published by Transcontinental Music. You can go to my website and you can email me and I will get you anything you possibly need.
Well, I'm sure our listeners appreciate that. And ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between, we just thank Cantor Levine so much for being with us. And we are so glad that you all joined to listen and to learn about healing and what you can do and some of the tools you can utilize for yourself or for others in holding space in the important moments in life and in death. So this has been another episode of Jewish Women Rock on Jewish Rock Radio. I am your host, Naomi Less. I am grateful to Cantor Levine. You can stream the last episode of Jewish Women Rock and learn more about the artists featured on this show by visiting jewishRockRadio.com/showtimes, and make sure to follow Jewish Rock Radio on Facebook and Twitter. Stay tuned for more Jewish Rock on Jewish Rock Radio, the official home of Jewish Rock, coming at you right now.